Hello, race fans, and welcome to another night of the Thursday Night Thriller O'Reilly series. Tonight we're from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where we are wrapping up the last race of this regular season. Looking at the points going into the playoffs, starting next week. The top 20 should be the ones making it, and as we see, Joseph Volpus is currently your points leader in first at 615 points, followed by Justin Parham and Andrew Davis. Looking at the cutoff here for the 20th position with Daryl Zabalos, it's really tight right here on this cutoff around the 20. I would say from 17th, 18th, 19th, 20, Matt Novella in 21st, Jeff Herman in 22nd. Any of these guys all the way down to 24th probably has a shot to make that top 20. Only being 30 points out or whatever, show up, get yourself decent stage points, and it could flip this cutoff here on these point standings. Today we have a little bit of a special broadcast with the news of the passing of Kyle Busch earlier today. So here in a few minutes, we got about 5 minutes left in practice. I'll kick it over to the national anthem to start this evening, and then we will go to a short moment of silence after the national anthem before going into qualifying. Take a quick look here at what your lap times are for some of these guys in practice and see what they're running. Let's look at their best times. Looks like the lap times in practice are pretty close. Yeah, remember during qualifying, this series does do open qualifying, so it's not your standard go out and run your 2 laps and you're done. You just kind of put down laps for 10 minutes, and the at the end of that we'll start out our starting order. We do have some new guys in here. Jesse Dawson in the number 9. I think he's supposed to be the 55, but might have been a little bit of a hiccup with that before loading in, which is all good. It happens. Some of these guys running last before we go over to the national anthem right fast. So wrap up practice here. John Beverly in the number 17. Doing really good at this track, currently sitting in third with the fastest, or on the quick time for practice. Joshua Barr sitting up there on the top of the leaderboard, followed by Jack Sanders. Once it gets to about 3 minutes left, I'll kick it over to the national anthem and get this evening started. Now, if you're watching in chat, I am watching chat too. If you want to chime in with anything, so we do have a few viewers right now. Here. Alright, we are back. Get practice wrapped up here and start qualifying. Ten-minute qualifying session. Everyone out on track together. Be interesting to see. It looks like the weather changed a little bit. Looking at the track information here, we have 2.5 mile track, 4 corners. The corners are pretty flat. Air temperature 75. Wind 6 miles an hour. Track temperature looks like it's about 86 degrees or so. Make sure we're live here. Some of these guys coming out on track now to get their laps in. I think draft at this track down the front or down the straights is going to be super beneficial for the qualifying laps. Jack Sanders at number 7. Steve Lewis in the 88. Brandon Ybarra in the 44. Joseph Volpus in the 98, your current points leader, coming into this last race of the regular season. He's coming off a pretty dominant win at Las Vegas on Monday night to get himself in the round of 4 in the Monday Night Mayhem series. John Beverly out on track. Justin Parham in the 19. Jay Simpson in the 18. I think a lot of these guys are still on their out laps here. Jesse Dawson to the here comes all the lap times. Steve Lewis currently sitting at the top of the timing tower. Joshua Barr knocks him off of that. Brandon Ybarra comes in second. Brandon's not that far from me, Norman, Oklahoma. I'm just up here in southwest Missouri, a few hours away from me. Steve Lewis is another one that's really close to me. Jesse Dawson, newcomer to the series, just signed up today. Nice to see some new guys coming out here and giving it a whirl in the O'Reilly car. Jordan Lane in 10. Oh, blinking out a little bit. Looks like he is probably on his out lap with no time recorded yet, or he flipped the wall or something, disqualified his time. Joseph Volpus to the top of the leaderboard with a 52.612. Clobbers the wall a little bit. Justin Parham currently sitting in 5th. Have about 5.5 minutes left of qualifying. So these guys still have quite a bit of time to try to lay down that heater of a hot lap to knock some of these guys off the top of the tower here. There's who is that coming out of the pits? I don't know which cars that were. Jesse Dawson getting really loose on one of those exits, so they will hold on to it. So far during this qualifying, it looks like we have about 15 drivers, 4 guys yet to put down a lap time. Brandon Lolis, Danny Sanchez, Matt Novello, Brandon Garand has yet to make their way out on track as Brandon Lolis in the 75 is coming out of the pits now. Jack Sanders moves up to P2 with the 52.662. Justin Parham to the top of the leaderboard with 52.52. Wonder if that had anything to do with the draft. It looked like there was a car right there by him. Joshua Barr up to the top, 52.484. Like Matt Novello might be making his way out onto the track, sitting in pit road along with Brandon Garand. Get some time in. Got about 2.5 minutes left, roughly. Might be enough time to get 1 lap in after considering your out lap being 50-something seconds. Brandon Ybarra moves up, knock Zach Clausen out of P5. Your top 5 cars are really, really close right there on the timing, all within about a tenth, maybe a little over a tenth of each other. Joshua Barr currently the only one that's been able to get down into the 4s. But Joseph Wolf's giving it another whack. Coming out here for 1 more lap as we have about 1.5 minutes left for qualifying. He should be able to get this lap in. Danny Sanchez out on track. Oh, really loose on the exit. He might have a little bit of draft help by whoever it is in that yellow car. I can't make out the number yet. Oh, man. them going side by side like this is gonna hurt that hot lap time for Danny Sanchez. It's just gonna slow him down here. See what he's able to pull off here right at the end of qualifying, if he can make it. Looks like it's really close to the end. Danny Sanchez with 53.502. That should do it for qualifying here. Be able to get our starting grid going. It's like Steve Lewis is the last one out on track. Maybe this open qualifying allows people to finish their lap or something. If you're out on track before the session ends. I'm not really 100% sure on how that works whenever it's open qualifying like this. See what? Oh, nope. That answered my question right there. As qualifying wraps up, we do have five, six viewers, five viewers. Welcome to the broadcast to finish out this regular season here in Indianapolis. Find where they're gridding at, bring up our starting grid. Joseph Volpus will take your pole position tonight from Indianapolis with a 52.435. Joshua Barr will start to his outside in P2. Justin Parham and Jack Sanders will make up your row 2. Brandon Ybarra in the 44. Zach Clausen in the 83 will make up row 3. Steve Lewis in the 88. Jordan Lane in the 10 will be your row 4. Starting 9th, John Beverly in the 17th. To his outside in row 5 will be Brandon Wallace in the number 75. Chase Simpson in the 54 next to Jesse Dawson, the newcomer to the league, will make up row 6. Danny Sanchez in 13 in the number 62 car. To his outside, Dalton DeRosa in the number 38. Rounding out your field for row 8 will be Matt Novella in the number 56 and Brandon Guerin in the 07. I'm sure they're going through their pre-race meeting. Hopefully we can have a nice clean race here to start. We will go silent on lap number 8 for Kyle Busch, and we will also go silent on lap number 18. Looks like they're starting to roll here. Joseph Volpus will be your control car. Should just be one lap around before taking the green flag. Track looks pretty dusty. Bring up the weather here and see what they're looking at for air temperature. Is cooled off a little bit from qualifying and practice. It's only 73 now. Wind has died down a little bit out of the northeast at 4 miles an hour with a cloudy conditions. Should be a pretty quick track. Probably going to be super loose on cold tires. Pacing at this track is really, really long as they make their way down the really long backstretch. there's a really big gap here in between some of these cars. Hopefully they can bunch it up as they're going into 3. Little short shoot, then off of 4. Hit the restart zone. I do believe they had 3 sets of tires. We will have a stage break at lap 75, and then there'll be a 25-lap shootout to the end. Pace car should dip off to the left here. Cone should signal the restart zone. We are green flag from Indianapolis. A whole bunch of wiggling, looking like tires spinning in the back. Bunch of people getting it under control, bouncing it off the wall. Joseph Opus gets a really decent jump into turn 1. Joshua Barr is loose and spinning off track, and that will bring out our first caution of the evening. Go back and look at that. He was kind of on that outside lane, and don't look like he got too much damage from that. They do not have fast repairs or anything, so definitely want to keep the car clean. But we'll go back and check out what happened there. It was just to the outside of Parham. Maybe lost the air off the back of the car. On that, it just looks like a victim of cold tires. Looked like Parham tried to check up. Don't look like he hit him or anything. I really don't think Barr's gonna have that much. I don't think he hit that inside wall very hard. So it shouldn't be a race ender for him. He should be all right. Kind of bounce off that inside wall. Does look like some people pitted. Is that Jack Sanders coming down pit road? Maybe to top up on fuel. I do not know what their fuel mileage and stuff like that look like. Yeah, it was just fuel only for Jack. Joseph Volpus coming down pit road. Justin Parham, Steve Lewis, John Beverly. Quite a few takers here. Matt Novella. I'm expecting most of these are probably going to be fuel only stops. There was quite a few cars that stayed out. Brandon Ybarra, Zach Clausen, Brandon Lolis, Jesse Dawson, Danny Sanchez, and Dalton DeRosa all opted to stay out. Going to flip the field a little bit compared to where everyone qualified. Sure, most of these people coming down pit road right now are likely just getting fuel. Or if they got damage from, looks like someone's taking tires back there. Who was that? Brandon Garan taking tires. Right sides, it looked like. Maybe some people got some damage that I wasn't aware of on that start. It did look like the back of that field got checked up pretty good. These pit stops are going to shake up this first starting row here. Not making it one lap yet under green. Still going to be in kind of that cold tire, awkward stage of start. So see if these guys can not spin their tires on the start. And hopefully we can have a cleaner start than what we had the last time. Pace lights are still on the pace car. Everyone rolling around single file. I believe whenever they come across the line this time, they should go 2x2, and we should see the lights on the pace car go off. Get this back underway. We do have 100 laps tonight. Some people opting to come back down pit road and probably top up one more time. I'm going to assume this is really, really close on fuel to. That's the only reason they would be doing this, is if it was super close on fuel. Your top 5, top 6 has elected to still not come out or come into the pits for anything. So pace lights are off on the pace car, so we should be going back green this time. It's going to put the field in a weird spot, because all those guys that came down for a second stop, like John Beverly, Steve Lewis, Joshua Barr, Matt Novella, it's going to force all these guys to line up single file. They should be lined up single file behind the number 38 of Dalton DeRosa. Brandon Ybarra in the 44 is going to be the control car as the pace car enters turn 3. See if I can find a better camera for the start here. Don't really see a whole lot of that happen. Small little short shoot. Come around turn 4. The banking in these corners is really, really narrow, so you don't really have a whole lot of grip there. Pace car makes the hard left down pit road. Brandon Ybarra control car on the inside is outside Zach Clausen in the 83. And we are green flag again from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Brandon Ybarra with an excellent jump. Zach Clausen dives it down to the inside into turn 1. That leaves Jesse Dawson and Brandon Wallace side by side as like Dalton. What was that flipped the wall? There's a car high on the outside. They got the wall there. Joseph Volpus looking to the inside of Danny Sanchez going in turn 3. Should be able to get the spot here. But everyone's pretty quick to single file out here. See if I can find some better cameras. From side by side. Battling a little bit. Oh, man. Grand diving it down to the inside. Nope, that wasn't Grand. Who was that? Danny Sanchez diving it down to the inside of Grand. Danny Sanchez bringing Barr along. Brandon Ybarra just did the fastest lap of the race. It looks like. Zach Clausen tied on his hill though. Everyone's kind of single filed out. Joshua Barr making a move to the inside of Brandon Grand. This will be for P9. I think these guys might be just settling in here and pick off laps. A lot of people using that, trying to break the draft up a little bit, which it kind of works sometimes. If you don't have a whole line of cars behind you that's also pushing in a draft, then you kind of lose some spots on that inside with them having momentum on the outside. bunch of stuff happening back around Joshua Barr, Brandon Grand. Steve Lewis looking to the inside of Brandon Lawless to fight for P10. John Beverly goes by on the inside. Jack Sanders, Jordan Lane. Brandon Lawless really fell out of the group there and paid the price for it, but everyone being able to take up on the inside. Going back to the front, Zach Clausen is falling off of Brandon Ybarra a little bit, but he's still hanging on there. Jesse Dawson having a strong first showing this race, running in P3. Joseph Volpus in P4 car, and Justin Parham running in P5. Joshua Barr working on Danny Sanchez to the inside going into turn 1. Side by side for the short shoot. See who has the momentum off through the back stretch. It's just so hard to keep that momentum up whenever you're not running that preferred line on the inside. You really got to try to pinch that car down, get as close to that preferred line as you can. Top 3 cars kind of pulled away a little bit, leaving Joseph Volpus in a little bit of a area code by himself here, which I don't think he minds that at all. Just run your race. He's not really having to fight dirty air. There's enough of a distance between the cars in front that Zach Clausen off the outside wall down into Jesse Dawson. Dawson should be able to get him on the inside, but them racing together is going to allow Brandon Ybarra to really pull away. Dawson pulls behind Zach Clausen. That has brought Joseph Volpus up to him, so now we have kind of a 4-car breakaway. But Justin Parham's not that far behind them, only about 7 tenths or so. Brandon Ybarra has about 7 tenths lead over the field. Joseph Volpus looking to the inside of Jesse Dawson. Dawson's going to have the momentum on the outside if he don't get loose. Tires might be wearing in a little bit. We are 11 laps in. I forgot to do this lap 8. Silence lap. Trying to keep track of everything going on. We'll make sure to hit it for lap 18. Brandon Ybarra has pulled out over a 1-second lead on Zach Clausen. Really fighting to try to keep that car down on the bottom on exit. And I think that is just going to compound and snowball problems as the race goes on. There's a whole line of cars that has caught up to Zach Clausen, Jesse Dawson, Joseph Volpus, Justin Parham, Matt Novella, Joshua Barr are all right here together in this little group. Volpus was able to make the move to the inside of Dawson to take over P3. Next car in his sights is Zach Clausen in the number 83 for P2. About 13 laps in, Brandon Ybarra has to enjoy this clean air, nice 1.5, almost 2-second gap back to P2. Oh man, something happened on the exit there and I missed it. 3 wide going into, someone's got to back out because 3 wide don't work too good here. Oh man, these guys are on top of each other. Matt Novella moving into P4. Oh, Novella in the wall. Justin Parham dodges him. Oh man, Parham almost hit the pit wall. Oh my goodness. That would have been race ending had Parham hit those barrels. Brandon Ybarra not having to worry about any of that going on behind him. He's pulled out to over almost a 2.5 second lead over Zach Clausen. Look at the build here. Seems like everyone's still kind of. Joseph Volpus had a really good run down out of that short chute, right up next to the wall. Able to close it up to Zach Clausen. Should have the run, get to the inside for turn 1. And he should be able to take over P2. Volpus up to second position as we are on lap 15 of 100 with Brennan Ybarra still in the lead. Our closest battle right now is this group right here with Justin Parham, Joshua Barr, Jesse Dawson. Justin Parham working on Joshua Barr a little bit. All this racing side by side has broken this little pack up into 2 to 3 separate groups, it looks like. Justin Parham able to get by Joshua Barr. Justin Parham able to get by Joshua Barr to take over P5. Oh man, now Matt Novella bouncing off the wall a little bit. He was able to get by Zach Clausen and take over third. Matt Novella really loose on the exit. That's going to kill his momentum down the straight. Zach Clausen's going to be able to move to his inside. But Novella's going to carry the momentum on the in a lane up. Oh, Zach Clausen and Justin Parham almost came together there. Parham to Clausen's inside. Drag race down the front stretch. Jesse Dawson looking to the inside of Joshua Barr. Novella's still holding the inside next to Zach Clausen. Clausen's going to be able to have, he let out the gas a little bit. Parham moves into P4, get by Zach Clausen. Everything's kind of settled back out now. We are coming to lap 18, which will be a silence lap in remembrance of Kyle Busch. we're back after that. Lap 18 silence for Kyle Busch. Thoughts and prayers from MRL Broadcasting go out to the Busch family. It's got to be something, as a father myself, I couldn't imagine what their family has to be going through. We do have a race here, 4:55 and 6 between Zach Dawson and Jesse Dawson. Boy, that's some hard names to say right by each other, back to back, really fast. It's like they sorted their on-track differences out a little bit. And Zach Clausen is going to hold on to P5. Matt Novella is sitting in third, under attack by Justin Parham. He is the car on track that is the biggest mover, being 20 laps in at up 12 spots from his starting position. Joshua Barr working on Jesse Dawson for P6. Bringing Brandon Garand up to them. Justin Parham looking to the inside of Matt Novella coming down the front stretch. Will be a drag race to turn 1. Novella lets off, it looks like, to let Parham go on the inside, tuck in behind him, use the draft to pull him around. Brandon Ybarra has checked out on the field over almost a 4-second gap back to Joseph Volpus, and that gap is growing. Have some shuffling of positions back here between Jesse Dawson and Brandon Garand. Jack Sanders running right behind Steve Lewis. Steve Lewis down 2 positions from where he started. Having a nice clean race. He's coming off of a win in the Friday Night ARCA Series this last Friday night. Zach Clausen getting challenged a little bit from behind by Joshua Barr for P5. These 3 cars right here are the closest cars on track. Brandon Garand right up behind Joshua Barr. Joshua Barr dives to the inside in turn 1. Gets to the inside of Clausen. Clausen gives him plenty of room. That's going to bring Brandon Garand to the inside. And Clausen loses 2 spots in 1 corner just by being up out of that groove. Brandon Lawless has been in the pits for about a minute. Not sure what happened. I didn't get any notifications of wrecks or anything, so have to assume he might just be done for the night. Lap 24 of 100 from Indianapolis. Brandon Ybarra is still maintaining a lead, a little over that gap has slowed down a little bit with how fast it was growing earlier. Matt Novella, Justin Parham battling here for P3. Looked like Parham wanted to try to do the crossover on Novella. Looks like Novella is going to hold on to P3 or move up to P3. Oh, something big happened. Oh no, pit stops. Lap 25. Jesse Dawson coming into the pits. I don't know what their field mileage is, so we'll have to keep an eye on it, see what the rest of the field does. Might be part of the reason why these guys were topping off here. Make sure they can get maybe cut out an extra stop and go or something. Brandon Ybarra making his way into pit road. Joseph Volpes stays out. He will take over the lead. Matt Novella stays out. Justin Parham stays out. Joshua Barr stays out. Grand stays out. Looks like everyone's opted to stay out here. I think Volpes was that first car that came down to pit road and then topped back up, if I remember correctly. So he should be able to go a little bit further than what Ybarra or Dawson was able to. Jesse Dawson with a 14, almost a 15-second stop, probably 4 tires. Brandon Ybarra with a 12.4 second stop. I don't know if that's going to be 4 tires or not. That might be 2 tires or something. Zach Clausen coming down pit road for his pit stop. Let's see what he does. As my internet is not good. See if I can adjust some stuff here right fast. Sorry if the playback's getting all jerky and stuff. Try to troubleshoot what's going on here. Danny Sanchez coming down pit road for his stop. Justin Parham making his way down pit road. Oh man. Super loose on entry. Brandon Grand, Steve Lewis. Joseph Volpes still staying out. Hopefully my internet has stabilized a little bit. See if Volpes brings it down this time or opts to stay out. Oh, he's way on the inside. Looks like he's coming down to pit. That's going to bring Matt Novella, Joshua Barr. Don't look like anyone got any black flags on that entry. Jordan Lane coming down pit road. John Beverly nose to tail here on pit entry. Jack Sanders stays out and is going to take over the lead on coming to lap 30 of 100 or lap 30 of 75 before the stage break. Volpes out. Barr out. Novella out. Beverly out. Looks like Jordan Lane's getting held for something. Does look like he has a black flag. Jack Sanders coming down pit road. Jordan Lane's probably going to have a 40-second hold. Likely going to put him a lap down. Brandon Ybarra will relinquish the lead after all the pit cycles. Volpes has been able to close up that gap though. Almost under 2.5 seconds now. Justin Parham right on the tail end of Volpes though for P3. These two guys need to work together to get up to Brandon. Still a long race to go. You don't want to be fighting side by side. Hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself and running your stuff up too early, trying to fight each other for 2 and 3 whenever P1 has that gap. I do believe Ybarra is one that is probably on 2 tires though. He only had a 12.5 second stop and all these other guys behind him 15 seconds or so, which tells me that's 4 tires. Brandon Ybarra probably on 2. Joseph Volpes stays right by him on the inside, take over the lead. Justin Parham is likely going to follow suit as he looks to the outside. Clean pass on the outside of Brandon Ybarra to take over P2. Matt Novello's not that far behind, should be able to get by him here on the front stretch. Take over P3. Joshua Barr is still a little bit behind this group here. See if I can go back with nothing really happening and see what Brandon Ybarra did on his stop. If I can find it. Have to bear with me for a minute. Right here. Where Ybarra comes down pit road. See what he does on his pit stop. Everything was pretty single filed out, so go back and experiment or check it out and see if we can rewind this a little bit or fast forward it. I mean, get to his box. Smooth stop. I don't see the car coming up. Maybe he took fuel only. Yeah, Ybarra took fuel only. They do only have 3 sets, I believe, with 2 sets in the pit. So Ybarra might be playing a strategy game here by skipping that set of tires and having an extra one for the end in case there's a caution in that 25 lap shootout. Joseph Volpes, Justin Parr, and Matt Novella are your top 3 on lap 34 of 100. We have about 40 laps until the stage break. Looking at everyone's pit laps, around 28, 27, 28, 28. they're going to have to stop one more time before we get to the stage break at 75. For Brandon Ybarra, not taking tires, he's bleeding time right now to the leaders, falling almost 10 seconds back now. Though he's currently still running in P5. Brandon Garand in P6 is catching him, followed by Jesse Dawson in P7. Matt Novella in P3 is still the car that's made the most moves this race. He's up 12 spots currently, followed by Brandon Garand, who's up 10. As Garand looks to the inside of Ybarra to move up to 5th place. Jesse Dawson is going to be working on Ybarra next. These cars right here are the closest cars together currently. Brandon Wallace coming out of pits here. Coming into the pits. Oh, man. I think he called it a night right there. Flying down pit road and then towed. Joseph Volpa's coming up on Steve Lewis to put him a lap down. So then we get into the situation where we're fighting for Lucky Dog on that stage break if there's no caution or anything. Matt Novella moving up to Justin Parham in a hurry. Matt Novella to the inside of Justin Parham for the battle for second. Novella should have it on entry here as Lewis moves out of the way for Volpus. Matt Novella take over second position. Justin Parham's able to stay right on it though, but these three guys, Matt Novella, Justin Parham, are the closest cars on track. I believe it looks like John Beverly, Jack Sanders having a battle for P9 here. Actually, these two cars right here, Zach Clausen, John Beverly, Jack Sanders, all fighting over 8th place. Looks like John Beverly gave Zach Clausen a little bump to help him on the entry. Keep his momentum up. You guys probably aren't looking to fight each other and kill each other's momentum as John Beverly kind of misses the groove a little bit and gets to the outside. That gives Jack Sanders the inside and takes over the position for P9. You guys should be able to fall back in line and just keep it going. Jack Sanders had a really good run off of into the short chute there on turn 3. Gets to the inside of Zach Clausen for turn 4. Drag goes down the front stretch. Jack Sanders is going to have the advantage on the inside here, as I don't think Clausen's going to be able to keep the momentum up by sliding that high, which also brings John Beverly with Jack Sanders to take over P9. So these three guys is just kind of flip-flop positions here because it was Clausen, Sanders, Beverly, I believe, and now, so yeah, they just kind of traded spots there a little bit. Joseph Volpus, still your leader on lap 40 of 75. So we have 35 laps here till the stage break. Matt Novella P2, Justin Parham P3. Does look like Parham has a lap car of Danny Sanchez right behind him. Right now, Steve Lewis is your lucky dog candidate. Actually, what the heck? Yeah, Steve Lewis is your first car lap down. Steve Lewis, Danny Sanchez are fighting each other for that lucky dog position whenever the stage break comes. They are split up between each other by about one corner, a little over one corner. So that might be a race to pay attention to later on. Everyone's really spread out right here, so there's not really a whole lot going on. We do have 10 cars still on the lead lap. Jay Stinson, I do not believe he made the start. Jordan Lane and Brandon Lowless are your 3 cars that are currently out of this field. Lewis and Sanchez. Looks like Lewis is your only car 1 lap down. Sanchez 2 laps down. And DeRosa 3 laps down. DeRosa is still rolling around on track though, because you just never know what'll happen. Put your head down and just keep at it. He is making his way up to the 07 Brandon Grand, though this is not for position or anything. Matt Novella has closed the gap a little bit to Joseph Bulbus, kind of making up some ground on him. They're about a second apart from each other. Justin Parham 3 seconds back from Bulbus as Danny Sanchez coming down pit road. Clean entry, doesn't look like there's a black flag or anything. Blocked it up right there at the lot. Lap 43 is whenever he is opted to pit. So he should be able to make it to the stage break from here if I did my calculating math right. Gap to the lead here has kind of maintained itself right there at that second, maybe a little bit under a second. I believe if we look at the lap times compare and let's see here. There we go. That's the button I was looking for. Matt Novella is currently running almost about 0.2 a second faster each lap. Only being 0.6 back, should be up to Bulbus here in 2 or 3 laps maybe. Novella is going to be catching that draft a little bit, so he should be able to make up a lot of ground on these these long straight stretches. Justin Parham still kind of running around in that 3.5 second gap back to or up to Bulbus. Joshua Barr right on the heels of Justin Parham. This is the battle for 3rd position. Take a look around. Joshua Barr looking to the inside of Justin Parham. Going to take 3rd position away. Randy Ibarra has fallen all the way back to 8th position with the call for no tires on that pit stop. John Beverly is catching up to him, bringing Clausen along. on the lead here on the timing while watching Volpus still having about a half of a second lead over Matt Novella. Lap 46 to 75. 29 laps. 29 laps or so until stage break. Should start seeing those pit stops start cycling through again. Zach Clausen was able to get around John Beverly to take over 9th position. Wolf is pulling that time back out a little over a second. Novella must have had a mistake or something that slowed his lap time down. I don't see anything on my information, but just sitting here waiting for pit cycles to start. Really curious on when Yobara decides to pull it down. He has lost a handful of time to these guys. Currently almost 27 or 25 seconds. Yeah, 25 seconds back from Joseph Volpus. Now Novella must not have any tires left. Well, right as I say that, now he's closing it back up. But he was losing time there. Jack Sanders working on Jesse Austin here for P6. This is our closest battle on track 4 position. Jesse Dawson is opting to bring it down pit road, lap 49 and 7. Oh, man. Blocked it up. I don't see a black flag currently in the race control stuff, so should be nice and clean. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. Novella is able to close it back up to a little over a half of a second gap up to Volpus. Zach Clausen catching up to Brandon Yobara. Should be a battle for position here. This will be a battle for 7th position. As Jesse Dawson is out of the pits with a 15-second stop. He did not get a penalty or anything for that injury. Clausen should have the run here if he decides to dive it to the inside. Yobara blocks it off. Clausen just needs to back this corner up and get the run down the back stretch to make it a drag race and have the preferred line on the inside going into 3. That's back in line. It's a little bit of a shallower exit than Yobara did. Yobara is coming down pit road for his stop. I know he's got to be thinking, Gotta be waiting on this with him not taking tires. It had to have been miserable running those laps, just falling back. But he is going to be a car that has an extra set than what everyone else has, I believe. I do believe he was the only car that took fuel only on that last round of green flag stops. Matt Novella's closed up to Joseph Volpus, gets the run. Looks to the inside for P2, gets around Volpus. Matt Novella is our new race leader, is Joshua Barr, Justin Parham there making their way down pit road. Brandon Ybarra 4 tires out. Brandon Garand stays out. He's going to take over the 3rd position, followed by Jack Sanders in 4th. John Beverly is stayed out as well, so he is going to be your 5th place car. Though everyone still has to make pit stops, so. Closest battle on track right now is this right here between Jack Sanders and Brandon Garand. Jack Sanders to the inside gets by Brandon Garand going into P3, or going into turn 3. Matt Novella, Joseph Volpus both in the pits. Zach Clausen as well, sitting in the pits. Zach Clausen with the black flag, so he is going to have a hold, more than likely speeding on entry. Brandon Garand making his way down pit road. Jack Sanders stays out another lap compared to Volpus, Novella, Beverly, Garand, all those guys. Joshua Barr should, I believe, take over the lead right here. Or close to it by the time he gets back around. He's going to have momentum coming down that backstretch where these guys have just pit. Coming out of pits, they're going to be building their momentum up, so we should see Barr just catch up to him right like he's doing. Jack Sanders comes down pit road. Matt Novella, Joseph Volpus able to hold on to 1 and 2. But they have Joshua Barr right on their heels. Joshua Barr did pit 1 lap sooner than Matt Novella and Joseph Volpus. Novella's been able to pull it out to about a 2nd lead. Zach Clausen back out on track after his black flag. Lap 54 of 75 to the stage break. Matt Novella, Joseph Volpus, Joshua Barr, Justin Parham, Jesse Dawson, your top 5 running order. Really strong race for Jesse Dawson with his first start in Thursday Night Thriller. Currently running in the 5th position. He pit on 48 compared to all these other guys at 51 and 52. So we'll have to see if he's able to make it to that 75 mark for the stage break, or if he'll have to short pit or something, or just do a stop and go. Joseph Volpus closing back up on Matt Novella. That gap is down to 0.2 of a second. Volpus should have the draft. That's also going to bring Joshua Barr, especially once Volpus and Novella start battling over the lead here. Shouldn't take long for Joshua Barr to capitalize on that in the number 35 Toyota. This race for the lead is our closest battle on track currently. Volpa's running a little bit lower of a line than what Novella is in that corner at least. I like staying that half a car length down or whatever to try to stay out of the dirty air. Dirty air can be atrocious in a lot of this stuff, so that's one thing you want to avoid, or else you're just going to burn up your front tires and you won't be able to turn anymore. Dalton DeRosa down pit road. Oh man. Do not locked it up a little bit. I do not see a black flag or anything. Lap 57 of 75 to the stage break. Matt Novella, Joseph Volpus, Joshua Barr are your top three cars. Justin Parham's almost 15 seconds back in P4, followed by Jesse Dawson in P5, almost 19 seconds back. Boston with that hold put him one lap down. He is currently ahead of Steve Lewis for the Lucky Dog, though, at the stage break. And it looks like their gap is about 9 seconds to each other. Joseph Volpus has the gap down to about a tenth and a half. Should have a battle for the lead here shortly. Look like Novella's trying to break up the air or something, or maybe bouncing off the wall a little bit. Volpus just being nice and patient. Jesse Dawson and Justin Parham fighting over P4 with Jesse Dawson getting it to the inside of Parham and being able to take over the fourth position. Jack Sanders and John Beverly having a battle for the seventh position. Really close battle here. Battle for the lead looks like it's as well down around the 2/10 have a gap between each other. Switched the camera too soon. I have no idea what happened between Jack Sanders and John Beverly. Okay, we can go back and look at that before we get to the stage here. Want to make sure nothing crazy is going to happen. Brandon Ybarra able to work around Justin Parham for P5. Joseph Volpus is still working on Matt Novella. I think I'm going to wait to go back and try to find out what happened on that pass between Jack Sanders and John Beverly, with the battle for the lead spicing up a little bit. I think Joseph Volpus just being patient here, not really trying to force the issue. Keep it nice and clean. Let the guy ahead of you make the mistake and then capitalize on it, get a run off. Doesn't look like Volpus is trying too terribly hard to get around him. I think Volpus knows if he gets side by side with Novella and they battle out, that's just going to bring Barr right up to him, who's currently running in third. This is going to be my assumption, is what they're thinking. The top three cars do have a gap of 22 seconds on P4. There's a huge, massive gap with these top three cars back to the rest of the field. Kind of look through the field here, see what's going on. Not a whole lot. Well, is still maintaining that 0.2 of a second gap or so. Been a couple times that Volpus has been right up on his bumper. I just really don't think these guys are necessarily wanting to race it out here. Not this close to the stage. Do have about 12 laps to go before the stage break. And then we'll have a 25 lap shootout. Well, after caution laps and everything, it'll be about 22 lap shootout or so. Brandon Ybarra is the one car on track that will have that extra set of tires. Brandon Grand might have an extra set of tires as well. Looks like his last hit time was 13 seconds. That's pretty close to, same with Parham, 12 seconds stop. That's pretty close to the same time that Ybarra had whenever he took fuel only. So we might have 3 or 4 cars that have that extra set. Ybarra, Brandon, and Justin Parham are cars that I can only assume have that extra set of tires compared to everyone else. Novella and Volpus still maintaining that 0.2 of a second gap. Kind of like a yo-yo or a rubber band type of situation going on between these two. Ten laps to go before the stage break, as we are on lap 65 of 75. Her running order hasn't changed any. It's still Novella, Volpus, Barr, your top 3, followed by Jesse Dawson, Brandon Ybarra. But Ybarra's coming up on, Ybarra's catching Dawson here, so we might have a race for P4 here shortly. Looks like he's closing in a hurry. Two tenths. 10th and a half. Takes to the inside. Dawson goes high, lets him have the inside preferred line. Nice clean pass for Ybarra to take over 4th position. He is about 25 seconds back from Joshua Barr, though. Novella's been able to pull out over that happening. Novella's pulled out a half of a second gap over Volpus. Joshua Barr about 3.5 seconds back behind them now. At one time, these three were really close together. 8 laps left until the stage break. Doesn't look like there's a huge... Beverly is closing in quick on someone here. Looks like Justin Parham. This battle between Parham and Beverly will be for the 7th position. Novella and Volpus in the front, still kind of... Volpus is closing that gap quite a bit compared to where it was before we switched back here. But it's still about a half of a second gap. Matt Novella and Joseph Volpus are the 2 cars per position that are the closest to each other. No, Jack Sanders closing in on Jesse Dawson. Not sure if it was just a bad line or something happened to Jesse that caused him to give up that much time to Sanders. Sanders looks to the inside in P3. Dawson pinches him down a little bit, try to keep that momentum up with as close to the preferred line as you can give. It goes ahead and gives it to him here coming out of 4. Jack Sanders is going to take over the 5th position. Volpus closed that gap to Novella back up to about 0.2 of a second. Car blinking out, in and out there a little bit. I think that was Grand. Grand is now your first car a lap down as we have 5 to go before the stage caution. Novella needs a finish here. He was kind of right on that cut line, right there around 20th. If he's able to win this stage or even get P2 in this stage, that's going to be extremely beneficial and should push him well into the top 20 to go into our playoffs starting next week. Any other battles on track, and I don't see any. It looks like DeRosa's called it a day, and DeRosa and Sanchez have both called it a day. Our next 2 victims that have taken themselves out of tonight's race. Joshua Bars closed the gap back to Volpus to under 2 seconds. Novella pulling away a little bit has increased that gap over 0.6, or to about 0.6 of a second. We look at last times here. Novella 54.9, Volpus 55.0. Bar 55.7. Novella on the heels of Steve Lewis for to put Steve Lewis another lap down as Novella gets around him without issue. Jesse Dawson making his pit stop, another pit stop. This is probably going to be just a quick fuel and go, which is what some of these other guys were preventing happening by coming down on that early caution, taking those extra stops and popping off. To just be a quick fuel and go here. Brandon Grand looks like he has a meatball from something. Jesse Dawson out of pits. Matt Novella, your current leader, with 3 to go until the stage break. Novella has pulled out a 2.5 gap on Volpus. Not sure what happened. They were about 2-3 tenths from each other. Not sure if something happened with Volpus trying to get around Lewis, or I know they're all right there together. Everyone in the field is really spread out with 2 to go to the stage break. The way the points work in this series is you get more points for the stage win than you do for actually winning the race. Kind of a cool concept. Makes it a fun little 25 lap shootout at the end where the points aren't necessarily as important than the race win. If you win the stage here, you can win the stage and get more points for winning the stage than what the actual race winner gets. If the math all comes out right. I don't know what happened to Grant to give him a meatball, unless it's just tires being worn out or something. I don't see anywhere in my information that said he crashed. Should be the last lap here before the stage break at lap 75. As Novella is your current leader, followed by Joseph in P2 and Joshua Barr in P3. Novella coming out of turn 4. And I do believe is going to take the stage win. So congratulations to Matt Novella on the stage win, Joseph Opus on second, Joshua Barr on third, picking up third. Brandon Barr able to move back up to fourth. Jack Sanders going to round out your top 5 for the stage. Now we rack them all up. Everyone pits, gets tires, and full send mode to finish out this race. Coming back around pit road, or coming back around trying to catch a pace car. I think these guys are clutching it. Let's go on board. I think they're clutching it. I think I heard it. Yeah, their clutches are in. Volpus is not. Novella is completely clutch. Barr is not. Guevara is not. Sanders is not. Joshua Barr coming down pit road. They have caught the pace car. Pits must have opened in a weird time to let Bar get in there before everyone else. Not sure how this is going to shake stuff up. Yabari also able to squeeze into the pits. Novella, Vulpus, Barham, Beverly. Barham's on the clutch. In the corner, Beverly's on the clutch. Must be really tight on fuel. Or they're really tight to making it back down pit road. Novella, Vulpes, Parham, they're all going to be making their stop. Beverly, Sanders. Oh man, Sanders almost takes out the wall. Yabara, these guys have already made their stop before the leaders were able to. Let's see how that cycles the field here. Looks like Grand has, I don't know what the X means. Too much damage to continue. Not sure what that X means. Joshua Barr coming back down pit road. Brandon Yabara should be making his way around turn 4 here. See if he dips back down pit road. Yeah. Matt Novella out. Justin Parham out. Vulpus was a little bit of a longer stop. Probably getting damage fixed, I assume. With a 33 second stop there. John Beverly sitting in the pits for quite a while, likely getting damage fixed as well. Currently at 53 seconds. Matt Novella, Justin Parham, Jack Sanders, Joseph Vulpes, Joshua Barr are going to be your top 5 here. As we wrap up this stage break, get ready to go back green. Justin Parham coming, no, trying to fake him out. Had the ace up the sleeve. Who was that? Did I see someone get a wave around? John Beverly coming down, back down pit road. Top it off. Must be tight for this little last 20, 25 lap shootout or so. Sure, we riding on board, we had to hear a lot of these guys. See if anyone's clutching it as we're pacing. Bunch of people running 4th gear. Jesse Dawson currently sitting in 7th place. Zach Clausen trying to catch the field. They are 1 to green. One, two, three. 12 cars still out on the track. Pace car should be making a left-hand corner right here, go down pit road. Matt Novella is going to be your control car with Justin Farm on his outside. Matt Novella with an excellent jump. Start the race, or start this last stage. Have 21 laps to go to the finish of the race. Matt Novella having the benefit of clean air right now, not having to deal with dirty air or anything. Going kind of in a single file line, probably trying to get closer to. I don't think you want to burn your tires up with 21 to go still. This is a long track, 2.5 miles. Oh man, is Jack Sanders really loose? Going to move Joseph Volpus up to third. Joshua Barr right behind them. Brandon Guevara. Almost looked like they thought about making it 3 wide right there, but Joshua Barr going to keep that momentum on the outside by pinching Guevara down a little bit. Joseph Volpus working on Justin Parham for P2. Steve Lewis looking to the inside of Brandon Garand, it looked like there on the camera. A lot of this stuff is let Matt Novella jump out to about a second lead. Jack Sanders looking to the inside of Justin Barham. Oh man. Barham going to be able to keep the momentum for the short shoot as Joshua Barr looks to the outside. Brandon Barr looking to the inside of Joshua Barr. Kind of different. Barr is able to make that pass nice and clean. Jesse Dawson looking underneath Joshua Barr. Justin Parham and Jack Sanders have a little bit of a battle going on for third place. As Parham looks like he is able to keep that momentum up and kind of drive away through the short chute. Jack Sanders gets a run going down the backstretch here. See if he's going to opt to use that momentum for anything or just stay in line. Looks like he's just going to stay tucked behind Parham for now. Coming off of turn 4, he looks to the inside. Turning in that early might hurt the momentum on exit as he brushes the wall a little bit. Look like Dawson got the wall as well on exit. Brandon Ybarra, Joshua Barr catching up to Jack Sanders here. Brandon Ybarra really using that little bit of difference in the concrete there. Probably helping the car rotate a little bit. Joshua Barr looks to the outside of Brandon Ybarra. Barr's able to keep that momentum up. He's going to have the momentum here down the front stretch. Going to have a little bit of help from Dawson on the outside with air. Ybarra should be able to hold hold the bottom, but I think Barr is going to have the momentum off, especially getting down like that and being able to get as close as you can to that preferred line. You really got to try to pinch that guy down on the inside and not just give them free reign of everything. Joseph Fulpus able to close up back to a 2/10 gap up to Matt Novella. Race for the lead with 15 laps to go before the end of the race. Jack Sanders and Justin Parham also have a little bit of a battle going on for third position. Gap between each of the cars are kind of the same between Matt Novella, Joseph Fulpus, and then Justin Parham and Jack Sanders. Everyone's kind of in single file here. Novella, Vulpus able to pull out almost a second and a half gap over Parham and Sanders. Looks like Parham has been able to increase his gap a little bit back to Sanders. They're spread out by 3/10 or so. And it's kind of gapped out the same between the leaders and third and fourth place. Joshua Barr catching up to Jack Sanders here to put his name in the hat, try to take over fourth position. Coming out of turn 4, we should have 13 to go this time. Barr really up on Sanders a little bit. If they get to battle, and that's going to let Parham pull away. Barr really closed up that gap onto Jack Sanders. As Sanders looks to the inside of Justin Parham. Parham using a little bit loose on exit. That might kill his momentum down this front stretch. Barr looks to the inside of Jack. Jack looks to the inside. There's just not a lot of room there. Messes up Jack's line a little bit. Pushes him wide. That gives Joshua Barr fourth place over Jack Sanders. These three right here are closest battle on track for your P5, P4, P3. Brandon Yobar is about a half second back from them. Brandon Ybarra has pretty much caught this group of cars here. 2/10 now. 11 to go. Brandon Ybarra on the back bumper. Jack Sanders should have the run down the straight. Should be able to look to the inside here. Gonna wait and give it one more time. This is the battle for fifth between Jack Sanders and Brandon Ybarra. And it is our closest battle on track. Ybarra looks to the inside. Jack Sanders kind of a little bit of a higher entry, gave Ybarra that open door to slide into, and Ybarra takes over fifth. Our closest battle was Brandon Ybarra and Jack Sanders. Matt Novella still holds a 0.6 of a second lead over Joseph Pulpus as we are coming to 9 to go from Indianapolis. We haven't really did a zoom thing, so let's do a quick little, we'll pick a car here and we'll do a quick little crank it up. All right. It's always fun to hear those cars go zoom, 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 zoom. We don't really have a lot of a change. It looks like Joshua Barr is able to be able to catch up to Justin Parham for third place. Matt Novella is pulled out to about a second lead over Joseph Pulpus. Justin Parham and Joshua Barr here are your closest battle on track with 6 to go from Indianapolis. Joshua Barr to the inside of Justin Parham. Parham runs a little bit high, might have a little bit of momentum here for the short shoot. Actually, I guess that wasn't the short shoot. This is the backstretch, I believe. After I did the crank it up, now I'm all lost on track on where they're at. Justin Parham and Joshua Barr, this is your closest battle on track currently for third position. Brandon Ybarra isn't that far behind them, though. He's only about a half second back. Matt Novella currently race leader as he goes around Zach Clausen to put him a lap down. Or another lap down. Looks like Clausen's 2 laps down currently. Current running order with 5 to go. Matt Novella, Joseph Volpes, Joshua Barr, Justin Parham, Brandon Ybarra, Jack Sanders, Jesse Dawson, John Beverly, Zach Clausen, Steve Lewis round out your top 10. Matt Novella coming off of turn, well, going down this short chute. Actually, back onto the back stretch. All right, we're 4 to go. This is the back stretch. Turn 3. Be 3 laps to go this time. These guys for 3rd position really is your closest battle with Zach Clausen bringing Justin Parham right back up to Joshua Barr. Clausen on the inside, Parham on the outside. Parham about a half car length up going into 1. Parham running about a half car length. Might have to run here down the back stretch. Sitting here looking, he's closing it a little bit, but they're kind of maintaining that 10th and a half gap. Parham's able to close up that half of a second gap that corner. Looks like Joshua Barr got a run off the exit of that down the front stretch. Oh, Joshua Barr in the wall. Defensive line holding the bottom. Parham should get the run down the back stretch here. Had the momentum. See if he decides to do anything with it by the time they get to the entrance of turn 3. Coming to the white flag here. Matt Novella has led 40, almost half of the race. 1 to go from Indianapolis. Matt Novella maintaining about a second. 1 point. Oh. Joshua Barr really loose on exit. That gives Justin Parham P3. Will also bring Brandon Ybarra right up to him, possibly take over P4. Short chute here. Matt Novella off of turn 4. Nice and clean, not in the wall or anything. Matt Novella is going to be your winner from Indianapolis and the season finale of the regular season finale of Thursday Night Thriller. Joseph Volpes going to be your 2nd place finisher, followed by Justin Parham in P3. Make this little. Not having a really good cameras for a burnout. Jack Sanders giving him the little congratulatory bump. I think I tried to say that word a couple weeks ago and could not get it out of my brain on how to say it the right way. See if I can find as Matt Novella burns it down. All the way down the front stretch here, smoking it out. Go ahead and look at our race results. Matt Novella is your winner tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, followed by Joseph Opus in P2. Justin Parham going to round out your podium top three. Joshua Barr, P4. Brandon Ybarra was able to come back and get himself a fifth place finish after that stop of not taking tires to have that extra set. Jack Sanders, sixth position. Jesse Dawson, newcomer, first start tonight, gets a P7 out of the night. John Beverly with a nice top 10 and P8. Zach Clausen, P9. Steve Lewis, P10. Brandon Grand, I still don't know what that little X was that he had on his name whenever he pit, but he gets himself a 11th spot. Dalton DeRosa nearly missed the race, thought he missed the race, able to grab himself 12th. Danny Sanchez, 13th. Brendan Lola's 14th. Jordan Lane, 15th. Rounding out the field is Jay Simpson, 16th, which I don't think Jay made the start. Looking at trying to hide here. Looking at the points before going into tonight, this is what it looked like before. So Novella, he was down here in 21st spot at 162 points. That is going to launch him massively above that 20th position cutoff. Um, it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of guys that was in this top 20 that I did not see in the field. RB Turner, don't know where I don't think there was a. I think he had more points than what he could miss tonight and still be okay in the top 20. But yeah, some of the Jonathan or Joshua Witherspoon, didn't see him. Justin Nolan, didn't see him. Jeff Herman, Matthew Fritz, David Owens, Kenneth Reginger. A lot of these guys I didn't. A lot of these guys under the 20th spot I did not see, and a couple of them that was above that 20th spot cutoff. Looking at how that's all going to play out, I believe this will tell us here. So, actually, I don't think it's this one. I don't think I have the. These are the playoff races, though. Round one be Talladega. Round two, Charlotte, and the championship race will be at Michigan. So let me pull up Discord right fast and read off how these points are going to work. So I don't think I have it in my thing. So the regular playoff bracket, which is what we're looking at, they needed I think they wanted above 30 drivers during the regular season for each race in order to do their extended bracket, which would have been the top 28. So I don't think that's relevant now, with this being the last race of the season and the last few races. I think we've definitely had under that 30 entrants. The regular bracket will be the top 20 at the end of the regular season. 3 round playoff bracket, 1 race per round, best finish between opponents, and then the final 6 in your championship, which I think is what we're looking at here on the schedule. Uh, so yeah, it's kind of like a playoff bracket thing is the way these playoffs are going to work starting next week, and it'll be fun to see the names filled in here and see who's against who for each round and who moves on, and then who our final 6 ends up being. Kind of outside of the traditional playoffs that we're used to with oval racing, but I think it definitely makes it an interesting experience. With all that being said, congratulations to Matt Novella again for picking up his win, Joseph Wolfus for P2, and Justin Parham for P3. You guys have a good one, and I will see you next week when we head to Talladega to start these playoffs.